Yeah, she just.
Wait, what is the black girlfriend effect? This is
you might don't know
You just
about
glow
this.
up the other culture.
Yeah, so you'll see a guy who's had a black girlfriend. All of a sudden, he's got buzz cut, like clean shape up. Glows up, bro.
Yeah, I like that.
Glows the fuck up.
They shave their hair because they start losing it. Because they're so stressed being around this black girl complaining about shit all the fucking time. That's why they gotta shave their hair.
Nah, bro. White guys with black girlfriends, they
grow a beard
because
because there's more cushion when they get slapped the fuck out of. That's hilarious. I think the black girlfriend effect. It might be a protective instinct, bro.
You think?
Protective.
Yeah. Do you guys have you ever had black girlfriends?
Yeah.
Have you ever had white girls?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. What's your favorite?
We love them all.
Yeah.
Oh really?
We love them all.
Yeah.
That means white.
Yo, who gets?
That means white.
Hey, let me know translation.
Kendrick fans, get him!
We love them all.
That's roiling.
All right. So that's like the gist of what went down. And so they got some backlash over this. And I guess like, hold on, let me. So I guess like the question is, like, I guess I want to see, did y'all have a problem with that?
Yeah. I mean,
I'll let me come up front. I'll just say I'll break. Like I felt it was a little bit like unnecessarily like negative towards like if you have, I've only ever dated black women, right? So when I've like dealt with black women, I've never had that like experience of like she gonna slap you or she gonna like. Or she gonna like nag you or something? Whatever he was trying to say. Like I haven't had that. Like girlfriend. Like if you have a girlfriend, you're dating somebody, you get in arguments, right? You married somebody, you're gonna have disagreements. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna like. But as far as nagging or like, and I guess it's possible for everybody's relationship is different, right? But like.
Hang on, just let me ask you. Are you trying? Let's clarify. Are you talking about a problem with Andrew Schultz, like joking about the hairline for the slap, or are you talking about the two black guys saying that they were inferring that when they love all types that they preferred white women? The other guy was like, well, that means white girls. Well,
that's the thing. Like they didn't say that. That was some other guys said that.
They didn't. But it could have been insinuated. And
well, I don't feel like it would have been a problem if they just said like, "Nah, I like white girls." But like, well, you know what? Let me take that back. Yeah, that would have probably been some heat, right? But at the same time, I feel like them saying we love all women is the correct response.
It is a correct response, right?
But then the other guy was like, "That means that white women," and I hear that. I'm like,
it might not mean white. It might mean non-traditional African American or African. No black girls, basically. You know what I mean? It could have meant that. That could have been inferred as well. So,
I was just going to jump off. I was just going to jump off the whole comment as far as like, what do you guys think about the comment of black women being this particular way that Andrew Schultz was making that they were laughing at?
Some black women can. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, so this is tough because like that could literally apply to anyone, right? Like that could like it doesn't have to be like it didn't have to be pinpointed to a particular race. At the same time, maybe it's been his experience that like all the black women he's ever dealt with are like that, or it could just be it could be that maybe he's following the stigma that black women are difficult or something, which is a stigma, I believe. Like it could apply to anybody. So like
the angry black woman.
So like it's very, I don't know. Like I don't know how to feel about this because this could be just like their experience, and I'm not defending like the stigma or whatever, but like it could have been just like his experience. Maybe they're speaking from being hurt by like women in general. You know, and it is definitely, it does come across as misogynistic, but and especially towards a particular race, but it's still like one of those things like I don't know. It's very I don't know. For me maybe I need more details. Like like you
But
know.
like, it felt like misogynistic towards black women, and I guess like we're talking about misogynistic and racist. Any well,
Yes, yes,
towards a
yes.
race, it felt what's so misogynistically racist, racistly
It's
misogynistic, like
it's just like you
racistly.
know, it, I don't know. Like I've you know personally like I've been with black women and some of them have been difficult and some of them
Right. I
haven't
was
been.
just thinking
You
that.
know, like I like just straight up like some of them have been difficult, some of them haven't. And
I,
you know, I'm not married to a black woman right
Mhm.
now, right? Like so like you know, but that does not mean that I you know wouldn't like if you know cards were off the table or on the table or whatever, but like it doesn't mean I wouldn't date a black woman just because some of them have been difficult in my past. But again, that's my unique situation, you know. So it's like one of those things where it's I don't know, like
I, I,
I would say overall, just to kind of wrap up this kind of stream of consciousness, but like I say overall, it did come the conversation was misogynistic. It was racist towards one group of women, and I think I want to end it with a question like what it's kind of weird as fuck, but like what was the backlash exactly that they got? Because I don't think you ever got to that.
So, well, okay. So let me just throw that in there. So, what the mainly the issue was is that I think Dr. K mentioned in the comments. It's like so their audience is majority
Predominantly black.
black women,
Okay.
right? So they have a I don't know. They got a lot of backlash from their viewers. You know, just being two young, strapping young fellows, right? Who are
Wow.
funny. They got a pretty good audience.
Okay.
And it turns out it's a lot of black women, and so I feel
I'll
like
say
a lot of black women had some feelings about that, like that commentary.
Uh huh.
I'll say from my
Rightfully
experience,
so. Yeah.
I I have dealt with black women in particular. Those are the women who I've never been married, but I've claimed as you know girlfriends or whatever, and and I have had
Significant others.
relationships outside of my race, but black women primarily are what I personally have experienced. And like Frank said, it's up to everybody's individual experiences, right? But for me, I'm gonna try to draw a correlation between in impoverished communities, right, and the the capitalism side of so it turns into a man versus woman thing, right? Like your level of worth is judged by typically in this capitalist society by what you own, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
coming out of our parents' generation, and you're coming out of welfare states and uh, desegregation, right? Like a lot of black men got locked up. Now everybody's due their own experience. Some of us had both of our parents, some of us didn't, but communities were destroyed, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and where the primarily the black man was incarcerated at a larger clip than any other race. And it's probably, I haven't looked at any statistics, still like that to this day, right? So you create in subsequent generations a I don't need you mentality. Now, this is for me speaking from the standpoint of having dated black American women, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it becomes an I versus you thing. And I think at the end of the day, it still comes down to being a man, and you need to be treated as a man right? And the reason that a lot of black men, I would think, now I don't mean to disrespect any black American women, okay?
Sorry.
But it's just the attitude factor. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Preface is like,
You know what I'm talking about. You know? You know what I'm I don't mean to offend any viewers, potential viewers who can come on. I'm not trying to dissuade black women, but there is a level, there is a you guys know what I'm talking about. There's a maturity to relationships that you have to have, and it can't be I versus you. It has to be we. And I think because they grew up out of generations where the man wasn't there, or he was running. He might not even been in jail. He might have just been running away from his family. Don't really know how to, you know. And we're seeing the results of that social experiment back then, today, where you have a lot of disjointed relationships. And I think it's just going to take time for a lot of black women in particular to climb out of that way of thinking, you know, because I've dealt with a lot of black women who say it's I versus we, you know, and there is no more I. When you're in a relationship, there's no more I, you know, it's we now, you know, regardless of race, you know. And I think I get men would choose to turn away because they have had to deal with some of those attitude issues, you know. It could be a possibility. So I thought it was funny when the other guy, whoever that was, said that means white. I thought it was. I chuckled, you know. I thought it was funny, but it wasn't offensive at all.
The thing is, I didn't take it as like, well, I don't know. I don't want to say it was offensive, but I took it as like when the other guy said, "Oh, you mean white?" I don't know. Me personally, I was like, "No, the fuck, that's not what I meant." Like, why would you like? For me, that feels like he's trying to put words in my mouth. Like, nigga, I didn't say that shit. Like, I said I love all women, right? Yeah. And maybe that's just me, but I'm like, yeah, like maybe because I don't really white women like that. Like, but like, I'm just like, why would you just assume that like I meant like you're projecting like that's what you fucking feel like, but don't put that shit on me, bro. Like, the fuck you talking about? Like, I said I love all women, and as far as like the whole comment of like I get like black women go through different black women's experiences in this world, and I'm gonna push it back further than the whole capitalistic drug war. I think shit goes way back to slavery. I was reading some bell hooks, and that shit will fucking change your perspective on black women, and what they went through versus the black man's experience. But that's a conversation for another topic, or a conversation for another time. But like black women's experience is different, you know, and I feel like like there's a certain approach that they take to relationships, and an approach they take to dealing with controversy, right? And I don't want to. And to me, it feels like shallow just saying it's attitude, right? Because attitude implies like they got a bad attitude. It doesn't talk about, or it doesn't like address like the conditions in which brought them to this place as a group of, as the entire section of black women, right? And not all black women act the same, obviously, right? And some people you always have demeanors and temperaments and everything, but like black women have, now I'm talking about like the rebel hooks. It goes back. Black women have never been in a situation where they had to rely on their men. Like, black women have always worked.
I think there was a time.
Black women have always.
And that's why I tried to draw the line between the capitalism and the welfare state. When you took the man out of the home, she had to depend on someone, right? Like, first it was a slave master, slavery.
But you're assuming that the man was in the home to begin with, right? The man was like, here, remember, like, men who were doing jobs, their jobs weren't paying them shit because at that time, we're talking about like
the man was
this
around.
is unskilled labor that men were doing. It was unskilled labor. They weren't bringing in much money.
But today,
Black women always had to work as well.
Back then wasn't like today, and true, they did, right? But it wasn't like today. It wasn't like $100 today is the value of $100 back then. I mean, there's a correlation between
value was, yeah.
cost and expense. So you might not have got paid much, but you were there to nurture your family. And it just, to me, I think that was a big thing that led to this, you know, and now, you're right, attitude is not the right word, but the environment which that attitude was nurtured, the I don't need you part is what men, I think a lot of black men feel they are not, you know, you still need the respect as a man. You can't talk to me as if I'm your man, you can't talk to me like I'm your friend or your child, or, you know what I mean? Like, you guys know what I'm talking about, the attitude.
No, like, that's the thing. Like, what do you mean talk to you like your child? Like, look, if she's talking to you in an abusive manner, then you got a problem, right? But well, like, if she's telling you if she's telling you the truth, right, and you don't want to hear it, that's another thing, right? Like, if she's like, yo, you didn't do this, you said you're gonna do this, you're like, oh my God, quit nagging me. Well, that's you problem, and right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I agree. The Black American woman experience is different than every other.
A Black woman will tell you shit you didn't do that you were supposed to do.
But I think the Black experience in itself is different than every other, you know, culture, right? Like, the Black American experience is different. We've never been before, you know, before now. So, you know, it comes down to everybody's experiences, and, you know, people are going to bicker. I don't care how happy you are, so it doesn't come down to race. Like, you can't help who you love. You know, I don't believe that because I'm a Black man, I have to fall in love with necessarily a Black woman. Now, I've been with Black women, you know, but I don't feel that them being Black means I have to love them. You know what I mean? Like,
nobody's saying that.
And I think that because the Black American women experience is so unique, that's why they are mad, right? Like, if he would have said, yes, if he would have been like, you like Black girls? And he'd have said, yeah, Black girls only, Black girls. Would Iraqi women be as mad as Black American women are at him?
His audience isn't really, I mean, as far as we know, the audiences are really Iraqi women.
The Black women, but like, what if he had an Iraqi audience? You know, what if he had a Brazilian audience? Would they be as mad? What if any other race, would they be mad if he would have said he loves Black girls? You know, Black American women. Are you said they're British. So what are these guys even famous for? What are they famous for?
It's podcasting. Shit we trying to do.
Yeah. If he would, I just wonder if any other culture of women would have been upset. It's interesting. It raises a question. So, you know, I don't know. And does that mean that? I'm sorry, Frank. Go ahead.
Nah, I was just gonna say real quick. I think it just goes back to what I was saying before, where it's like everybody's different. Even if we're focusing right now on talking about Black women and their experience, each of them are individuals of their own, you know, of their own upbringing, of their own circumstance. So I think this conversation is incredibly broad and nuanced at the same time. And I don't know, like, to be honest, I don't know, where we can kind of go from here, you know, as far as like.
Do you think they deserve this kind of heat?
No.
These guys are.
Wait, the guys you mean?
Yeah. So there's two things here, right? You have the guys, right? The podcasters. So they're getting heat from their audience for their response to this guy, this comedian making this. Look, I'm gonna call it what it is. That shit was a racist ass joke. Like, I feel like that shit is, huh?
The Schultz guy.
Yeah. That felt like needlessly.
He says little edgy things, but
that felt needlessly like. Y'all talking about like here, the way the conversation started out was they was like, yo, you know, the whole Black girl glow up, right? or something. So it's like, when the white guy starts dating the black girl, they get the line up, right? They go to beard, they got a certain look. Everybody talks about the fucking look. White guy gets the fade, he's dating a white girl or a black girl, right? And he was like, okay, so yeah, but that guy took that shit and made it that's a joke. That's like, yeah, everybody joking about that.
He made it.
And he was like, yeah,
race.
because the black women be smacking. Sorry.
But he's a little edgy anyway, because he does say certain things like that. But I didn't see a problem. Every race has their little racist tropes that they think. You know what I mean? At least
I think a good comedian is not racist.
At least he's comfortable enough
or
to
don't
throw
say
some
racist
of those
shit
out in front of me instead of behind my back, right? Like they were talking about a white guy dating a black girl. It's kind of the same thing as what a white guy would think about how a black girl treats the black man. I mean, you know what I mean? It's not like he said anything disparaging. You know what I'm saying? That's what white people think. That's what they think. So it's, you know what I'm saying? Or
I don't know, man.
I'm not saying white, any other non-black, that might be some of the ways that, what are some of the things that we think about white people that, I mean, now
is it racist though?
Yeah, it could be. Well, okay. So like white people like
in terms of discrimination, right?
Like mayonnaise.
Discriminatory, like, huh?
You know how they say like white people like mayonnaise, right? Is that
That's
racist?
not racist.
For you to say that?
That's not racist.
So what made what he said racist? That he thinks that black women smack their black men upside the head. So what?
Yeah. No, what made it racist is that he took that shit. He took a regular joke and made that shit into like a disparaging comment about black women, like saying black women are aggressive and black women are like apparently smacking people like their boyfriends or whatever. Like, have you ever been smacked by your girl?
Of course not.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I've never experienced that. All I did with black women, like, I've never experienced that shit. It's just weird to me. And maybe he has, right? So I don't want to like speak on his experience, but like keep that shit to yourself. Don't make that on a such a large platform, such a negative angle. You're just gonna throw it out of nowhere, like out the blue, just like, yeah, black women be smacking the shit out of people.
Bro,
what are you talking about?
I've never been smacked, but I did have one situation where I was in an argument, and it was a black girl, a black American girl. I want to clarify my experience. These guys are British, right?
Yeah, these guys are British.
Their audience, black British women or black American women? Because I think there's a difference. Like Frank said, everybody has their own experiences. So the black American woman experience might not be the same as the black British woman.
That is true. That's true.
So, there's separate, I'm speaking from a black woman perspective, but it was one time I was dating this one, and you guys,
I'm not never a black woman.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, she was talking. She was arguing.
Sorry.
Look, we was arguing, and she got close with her finger. She didn't like nudge me in the head, but she
with the finger mush.
That's what he's talking about. And they know that. They poke fun at that in movies and everything all the time.
Yeah.
They know that shit. At least he's comfortable. Andrew Schultz in particular is comfortable enough to tell us.
Someone will tell you about yourself. Some niggas can't take that shit.
To my eye, bro. I was like, dog, don't touch me. Don't do it.
I don't know. Maybe this is one of those things. Maybe this is one of those things like.
And I've never hit a woman either. I'm sorry, Frank, but I've never hit a woman either. So I've never gotten in any kind of physical altercation. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, let us say
once it gets physical,
just to be clear. Let me be clear.
Once it gets physical, it's over. Like,
that's right.
Oh, that woman.
Look, as a man, if I punch my girl in the head, how do I come back from that? How do I say sorry for that? You don't.
Can't do that shit. Nope.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry I punched you in the head. Like, no, you like this. That's it. All right, Frank, I'm sorry.
Nah, you're good, man. Like, I think I don't know, man. This is kind of a weird, like, not all of them situation, right? Like, all right, let me share a bit of a personal story about that kind of relates to this, as far as individual experiences with black women and how they are perceived by the individual, and themselves, as far as how they're influenced. Anyway, so like I said before, I've dated black women. And like I said, some of them were difficult, some of them were not. Has not really affected my outlook on them whatsoever. But my brother, unfortunately, he's he's dated more black women than anything,
Mhm.
and his experiences have been largely negative,
Mhm.
and that has, of course, shaped his opinion of them. Like he's extremely misogynistic, um, especially towards black women. And I have a funny feeling that, getting a little more personal here, I have a funny feeling that my mom has contributed to that outlook of black women, because my mom is not exactly um, she's not a great black woman.
Mhm.
I'll say that, and I can say that, um, because I've experienced how she's like. Um, so while the way my mom was with us didn't really like affect my outlook, I look at the person, I look at the individual.
Mhm.
My brother has kind of like taken that, and like it has very much shaped his viewpoint on black women. Um, like it's really fucking sad, and he might be more inclined to like not see an issue with like anything that was said in the video, but
Yeah.
at the same time, he also would not recognize that there is an issue with what was said, and it's I really really think it comes down to the individual. I really really think Dr. K said that the audience is largely black women or black
Mhm.
people, right? Black people with the two podcasters, but like it's it,
Yeah. Look.
it's very much like it's very much about like how their I believe it's very much how their individual experiences have shaped their viewpoint on how things led up to this, and why why they said this, and about how Andrew Schultz was kind of like edging them on, and and his experiences are also different from theirs, and it's just kind of like a mess of a thing that I don't know if we're ever gonna like should they have gotten backlash for this?
Maybe.
Maybe that's because their audience is predominantly black women
Yeah.
at that, right? So of course black women are gonna feel a certain kind of way,
Like, know
but
your audience, man. Like.
at the same time, they are all individuals themselves,
Mhm.
So now, did every black woman audience member get upset? We don't
Probably
know,
not.
but
No.
probably
Definitely
not.
not.
But probably not. So it's like one of those things that like, uh, it's extremely nuanced and extremely high level, and it's a lot to kind of like unpack, but they did say what they said, and we here recognize that there was racism, that it was tinged with racism, and it was outwardly misogynistic, all for the sake
Yeah.
of a joke, bad joke, but
Bad joke, right?
it was
Like.
but they said it. Now we kind of understand them a little bit more, I guess, and it's you know it's
Yeah. Do you guys think that? So you guys don't think they should be like canceled for this? Like
No,
canceled? Because I don't really believe in canceling, but canceled.
I mean nobody cares about my
is
opinion, but
is
canceled,
that
no.
what's happening?
Mm, no,
Is that
they're
what's being
they've
threatened to
released an
happen?
apology, and so I feel like their apology. There's a whole nother angle to this where like they released an apology, and they're talking about like how they were just trying to move on past the conversation. They laughed, but they felt like it was like a kind of like they were in a situation. They said it was a fight or flight response where they were laughing because the host made a joke. And I feel this because here, who hasn't been in a situation where somebody said some crazy shit and you're just like, I'm not gonna challenge. I'm let's just fucking get past it, whatever. Like so you laugh it off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean,
Like
you're in the middle of an
I
interview.
personally feel like, yeah, like you're on this guy's show.
It's the same reason why Will Smith laughed, right? Everybody gets on Will Smith for laughing, right? Remember that? Remember the Will Smith laugh thing? That's why he was on the Oscars.
So you mean before you slapped Chris Rock?
Wait,
Yeah, remember,
laughed
yeah.
at what?
Hey, you were laughing too, you know. It's just a reaction thing, you know. I'm a laugh.
Yeah, like you're laughing. And then in hindsight, you're like, oh, I should probably smack the shit out this thing.
Yeah. Hey, we can start a whole other podcast on that. That shit is so crazy, bro.
So, oh, I didn't like that. That was some bullshit, man. Hold on, son. So they probably should have smacked the shit out of Andrew Schultz at that minute, at that time.
No, I don't think so. And I don't think Andrew Schultz was racist. I don't think what he said.
You don't think that shit was racist?
No, it was a community joke. He's not part of the black community, but he still.
That's what makes it racist.
Yeah, that's what.
Like if a black dude said that, I feel like I would have gave him a little bit more leeway. But this white dude on the outside who hangs out with black people sometimes, now you gonna start making jokes on black women? I don't think you get to do that shit.
My experience personally is the black American male experience, right? So I think that black people in general, American people, are some of the most accepting groups of people, right? Because we've never gotten a chance to be really racist, right? We've never had economic power over another. You know, racism is what you think. It's also, you know, the economic hold you have on someone, right? Like, you know, stealing diamonds from Africa, that's racism in a sense, right? You know what I mean?
That is definitely racist because
if the people of the land are not benefiting from, you know, that at the same clip of somebody from another race.
That's politically, like a policy level, like that's systemically racist, right? Where you have laws in place to take advantage or put certain people in certain situations. And it kind of outlines it's not 100%, but it's like 99% of this particular racist inconvenience. Yeah.
Right. And, you know, so like, you know, I think that black people are some of the most accepting. And, you know, like I said, we've never really had a chance to be racist. So it's what he said. Was it racist? I don't think so. It was just a stereotype that all we have about other race. But like I said, white people like mayonnaise. All right, what's another stereotype we think about some other race? I don't know. It don't even have to be racist at its core. Just the fact that you think it when you don't know a person, an individual. As Frank said, everybody has their own experience. Just because we think something about Asians doesn't mean it's true. But that's how society breaks down.
Can I say one thing real quick, D? I'm gonna go back against something that you said. I don't know if this is what you were insinuating, but like you said that basically black people don't have the room to be racist or can't be racist. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all. Black people can absolutely be racist.
Against white people or Asians?
Against anyone, against their own.
I don't.
Against anyone.
There is a black congressman running in North Carolina who's like, I'm a black Nazi, like up front.
We know. I know you're talking about like the Candace Owens thing, right? Sorry. Like she's racist against her. I see what you're saying.
I'm not talking about that specifically.
But we know that white people. I've heard white people call other white people white trash. So we don't generally think about white people being racist against other white people, but it happens, right? Irish didn't like, you know, the Italians. You know what I mean?
So no. I think we're deviating a little bit. I'm saying you insinuated, and again, I wasn't sure if that was your complete point, but like you insinuated that black people don't have the room to be racist, and that's not true.
It's in my experience. I've never met anyone a black person. Now I live in Northern Virginia. It's a bubble. I get it, right? Everybody's entitled to their own experience, and I'm sure. To me, of course, obviously, there are some black people who can hate another race of people, you know, because they are different from them. But I have never met any black person who has hated someone because they are Asian. Like I'm talking about, like truly hate.
What do you mean truly hate? Like that's the
racist.
You haven't met every single black person in the world.
Well, yeah, obviously, yeah.
Also, truly hate isn't the criteria for racism. So truly hate is like immeasurable, and it's not the criteria for racism.
Racism to you is a joke about how I think. What if I said that white people like that? What if I said white women like to tie their husband's shoelaces together? Is that racist for me to think? You know what I mean?
No,
is it the
that's
part?
not
Is it the
racist.
part? Is it the part that he said that black women
That's funny and
slap?
silly.
Is it the part that he said where black women slap their black men? That's the racist part that you're talking about.
No, it's not like
it
it's not
was
like a
him.
particular sense. It's a what's the word?
Thinking something
It's
about
a
another group of people that could
no.
not or
It's a
could or
it's a
could not be.
malicious. No, it racism comes with a malicious intent, right? So a lot of it is intention, right? So when you make a comment like, so you're talking about
Was what
something
he
off
said
topic and you
malicious?
go out of your way to make a derogatory comment about a group of people
That you
who
don't understand.
that you don't understand. That's the racist part, right?
But that could
Like
be
it's
true for white people too.
because it's harmful, right? Because it's derogatory, especially on a platform like their show, right?
D,
Like
D,
Andrew
you also-
Schultz is edgy a lot though. He is.
He is.
that's not an
but
excuse.
But D, you
Never has
also
been.
know you also know that there is colorism, right, and amongst black people, right? Like,
Yeah, you know, you tend to get the whole dark skin versus light skin thing. Even how like, you know, the
do you
standards of
think
beauty, right? Like the
Mhm.
if you somebody's dark,
tends
that's
to
the
be
first thing you know.
more
Oh,
tends to
they're
be
so
more
dark.
towards tends to be more towards the European, right?
Yeah,
like
right,
European
right.
complexion, right?
Standard
Like,
of beauty,
do
right?
you think colorism is racism?
No, we're all black. We're all black, bro. We're all
It
black.
is though.
You know,
It is though.
and I don't.
Literally.
100%. It is
Mm-mm.
though.
I don't think colorism, because does colorism exist with any other group of people? Is that just a black thing?
Yes, it
I
does.
don't-
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
It does.
Absolutely.
Yes.
India.
It does.
India is
India
definitely
is the
one of
biggest
those.
example.
Oh, it
Africa,
does.
India, like
Now,
Brazil.
hold on.
Like
Are we
there's
talking
so
about
many
black
places.
versus the lighter? We're talking about
Levels.
black versus the lighter
Oh, my
skin.
bad.
So
Yo, I don't
white
know
people
if, I
are
don't know if me
excluded
and
from this level of racism. This is
my
just
bad.
skin
I don't
tone
know
level.
if me. I don't know. Oh, Claudine, my bad. I didn't know if we were on a similar wavelength just now. But Claudine said the same fucking thing.
Yeah, she literally just said that, John.
I'm used to it. It's
The
always
same
y'all
fucking
versus
thing.
me.
No. It's not. It's not
I'm
about it
a-
being your word, our word against whoever's
Oh
word
no,
against
that
whoever.
that's what sparks
I'm
the
just
debate.
I'm trying to see how you're thinking, because like if you colorism is absolutely a form of racism, like Claudine just said, right? Colorism is a form of racism, even though maybe the definition of racism may apply from race to race. In colorism, it's still isolating a group of people, even within even at the same,
Who are
like you
all
said, we're all
included. The
brown,
darker-
we're all black,
The
all black,
darker
just
you're,
because they're darker, just because they have a darker complexion. In India, there's a fucking caste system
Yes.
that's still practiced to this day, where darker skinned Indian people are lower on the totem pole. Now
Literally
it's not
treated
as
less than.
extreme. It's not as extreme as it was in the past, but it's still followed. It's still followed to this day.
Mhm.
Lighter skinned or fairer skinned. I always hated that shit.
Yeah,
Fairer
fair.
skinned people in India are given more benefits, are considered more attractive, are given more chances to succeed.
I learned this today that in South Africa, like as far as ranking of like people go, like of course dark skinned people are at the bottom of the rank, but apparently you have your is apparently the ranking of like how you're treated in society is, and this is post apartheid, so it's still going obviously because it never really leaves, but it's white, Indian, mixed, like black and white mixed, like Trevor Noah, and black. It's still ranked and it's still treated differently. Just the opportunities are still limited, right? And maybe not be on paperwork anymore, but the same. And that's the thing, right? Like racism comes with a malicious intent to go out of their way to make a person less than, or make a person or a group of people what they are not, going out of their way to make a stereotype seem like it's real, right? So like when you say, is it racist to say white people women tie their husband's shoes together, like that's a thing you can say about a group of people, and maybe some white women have done that, but it's not like it's not detrimental to all white women, right?
Mhm.
Nobody's like walking down the street like,
So you're
this is
saying
my
what
time my
Andrew
shoes
Schultz
together.
was
Like
saying was
it's not
detrimental
dangerous.
to-
It's not malicious. It's not like it's
You're
silly.
saying what Andrew Schultz did was detrimental to
God.
all black people. Then
Yes. I think that what he
The
said,
malicious
you
intent
say
was
he
there.
says it's a joke. I'm just joking. But what he said, one, he wasn't laughing.
It was
Like, and then
filled with
two,
hate.
he said it came out of a place of like
Hurt.
black, I've heard
too
black
hurt.
people say
He
that
seemed like
about-
he was too hurt, like or to disparage black women
An entire group of
for no
women.
reason. Not that
Just
you need
because.
reasons, but even still, just like
Nah, I think
You
he
know
was
about it?
well within
Okay.
his rights. As I mean, what he said. I think
Rights?
who's the guy who got locked up? Who's the guy who had the
Diddy.
podcast? Russian guy. You know what I'm talking about? Self-help.
sorry,
Dude.
Russian
talking
got
about?
self-help.
Yeah.
Russian self-help got locked up. Epstein?
Real famous guy. He had like a big
Mhm.
following. Dudes.
What did he
self-helping
get
dudes
locked
trying
up
to get
for?
in shape.
Andrew Tate.
Andrew
Andrew
Tate.
Tate?
Right.
Yeah.
I think what Andrew
Oh,
Tate said
hold
was
on,
way
hold on.
more controversial than what Andrew Schultz said in particular. I think black
Yeah.
women should be more offended at things that Andrew Tate said than Andrew Schultz. When you
As
compare
far
the
as I'm
two,
aware,
Well,
like
we're
nobody
not
is
now,
fucking
now,
with
now,
Andrew
talking
Tate.
about
I bring
Like,
that up. I bring that up.
Andrew
I
Tate's a
bring that up
terrible
to say
person.
that
Like,
Andrew Schultz. I bring that up to say that Andrew Schultz and Tate, they are within their rights to say what they want to their audience. It comes down to people whether they want to listen. Now, if that's what Andrew Schultz thinks, you have the right not to listen to what he's
Tate
thinking.
did not get locked up because of what he said. He got locked up for what he did.
Did.
Oh, okay, well, fine. But you know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the fact. The point was not that he got locked up. The point was his audience, right? So Andrew Schultz said what he said, right? Are black women going to stop listening to Andrew Schultz because of this? I mean, what's the point of
I don't know if black
what
women
he
listen to
said
Andrew
was so?
Schultz.
If what he said was so racist, which I don't think a lot of black people would have taken that as racist. I mean,
All right, here.
it wasn't it was a stereotype, and we all have stereotypes. I don't.
Let me throw this
I
out.
mean,
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
I think
Like here,
this is the thing. We get mad at people for saying things that we don't agree with, but
Not-
they have the right to have their opinion, right? Like
We're not.
now,
not
what he
saying
said.
that they
Now,
don't.
what he said was a stereotype, but if that's what he thinks,
We're
that's a
not saying that
stereotype I
they
didn't
don't.
even know of.
that black women
Smack
hit
their men, then that's why they grow. That's why white men grow
You
beards
never
and
heard
date
that
black
joke. You
women.
never seen that
I've
in a
never
movie.
heard. You heard that before?
You never
I've
seen.
never
You've
heard
never
that
seen in a
before.
movie
I've also,
or any
I've also
media.
never heard. I've also
Oh,
never heard of them
black
having
women?
the nice clean shape ups and shit like that. And I'm like, the fuck is that
of
coming from?
white guys having shape ups. So was
Like,
he
yeah,
racist
like
against
having
white guys? Were the black guys racist against white guys for saying they get shape up when they
the
date?
insinuation is that when you end up like if someone of a different race or any race,
Because
doesn't matter,
the black
ends up
guys
with a
could have been
black woman.
racist too.
No,
They
no,
said
no,
the
it's a
guys get
black-
shaped up and start
No,
looking
no,
more.
no, because
Let me
Where's
finish.
their level of hate?
Let him
the
finish, D.
insinuation- please.
All right, I'm sorry.
It was the insinuation. It was the insinuation that if you wind up with a black woman, that the black woman starts to control you and shape you and mold you in their way to have the nice clean shape up and to it's basically again stereotyping the black woman as being controlling.
So the angst is for Andrew Schultz and not for the guests, because they were. If we're comparing statements, if they thought that the white guys do a certain thing, you know, I mean, was that racist of them to say that they changed their image because of their influence of a black woman?
Again,
They start looking more black, so to speak.
Going back to the initial
That's
point,
what could have been insinuated.
It's
I think the thing is, you don't agree with.
individualized and nuanced, man. Like
It's not about agreeing
It
with.
is. It is.
like it's like we're not gonna like it's not about agreeing. Like the whole point of this was to see if the backlash that they received was warranted or not.
Like,
And Andrew
Not about it,
Schultz
we're not-
if a
received
guy
backlash.
says something I don't agree with, I don't be like, "Yo, I don't agree. That's racist."
Andrew
If a guy
Schultz
says
gets
something that's
backlash.
racist, I'm like, "I don't agree," and that's racist.
I'm
right?
confused. Who's
Yeah.
getting the backlash here? Andrew Schultz is getting
Well,
backlash.
here they're all
No,
getting
no.
backlash
They-
right
They
now.
all are. They all are.
Yeah.
The two. So I think mainly, if correct me if I'm wrong. Mainly, it's the two guys, right?
from their
And then
audience and who's
from
more
their
black
audience.
adjacent.
Right.
I don't think Schultz has a big black audience. I don't know. I don't follow him.
I think he
I'm
does
not gonna.
because he used to
Does he?
he started out podcasting with Charlemagne the God from the Breakfast Club. So
Okay,
that's how
so
I got
maybe he
on Andrew
doesn't.
Schultz because I used to listen to Charlemagne. I don't like Charlemagne that much anymore either, man. Like he just too kind of political pop for me. Andrew Schultz either, but I ran into him a few times through Charlemagne the
Mhm.
God. So, yeah. He's edgy. He said stuff like that. They bounce that off each other. Him and Charlemagne would say, "Oh, white people like the da da da." That's how they would interact with each other, man. That's not new for Andrew Schultz. He's not just pulling that out of nowhere. That's how his
Is it
audience is
racist
used to
though?
hearing him. His audience is used to hearing him say things like that.
Say
You know?
racist shit.
Was it racist? Because what?
I still think that was racist. I still think that shit was racist, man.
All right, so y'all have y'all. I mean, y'all seen stand up comedy before, right? Like
Yeah.
like racist prejudice jokes are a huge hit with them, with stand up comics, right? The thing is, I think
Racist jokes, I don't think so. That's the thing. Like,
racist jokes are huge.
Racist jokes.
No. Okay, so let me just finish.
Racist jokes, like racy is a thing. Like you can talk about the races. That's a thing.
Let me finish.
But racist.
Let me finish.
Sorry.
So yeah, like kind of like towing that line, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even if you're watching the stand up, you don't even have to be.
Hold up, your mic just dropped. I can't hear you.
Through your screen. Oh shit.
No, you're good.
Wait, and
Can you hear me?
You're good. Yeah, you came back in.
Now it's a delay.
I'll be back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, D.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Keep going, Frank. We can hear you.
Oh no, I'm gonna have to add him back in. Let me take this minute to run back some of Dr. K's comments.
This is where we need to have some,
James said
we need to have some advertising right here, bro. Anybody want to
after these messages?
Podcast, you know.
All right, here you go. All right.
How about now?
Yeah, we're good now.
Hey, this is where we need a Manscaped sponsorship or something like that. You know what I mean? I'm like, Manscaped, take care of your nether regions. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You know what I'm saying?
Little read off.
Take care of the Netherlands.
So let me finish the point before I get cut off again. But so like it's like kind of towing the line even through the screen, right? You can tell like which ones are like kind of towing the line really well with being funny, but yet still addressing like the subject of race. And then you can tell which ones are just outwardly racist as fuck. Like you could feel the hate. Inside the joke, you could feel the hate coming from the individual, be it through their own experiences, circumstances, or whatever. So it's like it's about understanding that we can be racist. We all can be racist. We all have the capability of being racist, unfortunately, and it has a lot to do with. I feel like it has a lot to do with our own experiences, how we're brought up, how we're taught. The people we meet, the people we come across, right? I think that all has a bearing on like how we as individuals perceive the outside world, to be able to make these insinuations, to make these assumptions. And in the case of stand-up comedian like Andrew Schultz and the two podcaster dudes, like I feel like that has a lot to do with their own individual experiences. I don't know, the thing is, like it was racist, man.
Yeah.
There are stereotypes. Okay.
There are stereotypes.
I guess in my head, I'm
based
drawing
on
levels to this racism shit.
But
I'm drawing levels.
All stereotypes are racist.
I'm drawing levels to this racism shit. Now,
there are
random comments about a stereotype that you think, to me, I guess
depends
in
on
a
stereotype.
PC world, it is racist. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, we could go down all the fucking stereotypes about black people right now.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
right?
We
And
like biscuits
so
and
do
chicken.
you
We're the only ones like biscuits.
so do you feel
Right. You know what I'm saying?
like the fried chicken one? Yo, everybody fucking loves fried chicken. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Fried chicken do fuck people
But the
up, though.
idea
That's
that only black people will go out of the way for fried chicken
Right.
is
Like,
the
why is
racist
it-
part of
like-
that,
like-
right?
Yo, and you know what didn't help?
They
You
go
know,
out of their
you know
way
what
for that
really,
shit,
you know
yeah.
what really didn't help us? You remember the Popeyes chicken
Yes, I
sandwich?
know.
That
So-
shit did not fucking help, bro. People were getting
Those
killed.
lines,
People were getting killed. Literally, people were getting
car
murdered.
accidents,
Like, yo,
craziness.
what the fuck? Anyway, my point.
We do
point
love
is-
the chicken from Popeyes.
but everybody loves a fucking.
Everybody loves it. Dude, right after I ran that run, I went straight to Popeyes and I got and I crushed it, and it was so good.
That's the problem with these.
That's
fried
not because
foods,
I'm
though.
black. That's not
You need
because
to-
I'm black.
Right,
Because it's
it was a good
delicious.
sandwich. Because it was a
Right.
good sandwich. I just
Got a
happened to be
breast
a
and a
black
wing. It
man.
was great.
I just happened to be a black man that
Yeah.
purchased the sandwich and found it good, delicious.
I think
Fantastic.
the
My
lot of
point-
reason that black people get so sensitive about stereotypes about black people is because there's so many of them about us. You know what I'm saying? That's
Oh,
the
it's not-
problem. Like,
Nah,
Not 'cause it's
yes,
so-
it is.
Why,
We
wait,
like
here.
biscuits
The
and
question
chicken,
is,
and we
why
like
are there
watermelon.
so many? The question is, why are there so many
women
about
beat their
us?
men?
my,
You know what I mean?
My
Huh?
question to you, D. Do you think that like do you have like a dichotomy of like which stereotypes are racist and which aren't?
No, it's just some are more racist than others, and
Okay,
I
we
don't think
literally
this
just-
one's rated high on the racism scale for me. You know what I mean? It was just a little pun that he said that was, "Hey, haha," you know. Like,
But
I
it
could
wasn't
say that
haha
all
because
white-
I'd never heard that shit before. He just made that
that
shit
black-
up.
We've never seen a movie or any media where the black woman was bullying the black man. We've seen Tyler
No,
Perry
that's not what the
movies.
joke was.
We've seen Tyler Perry movies. Now Tyler Perry pokes fun at black couples versus each other all the time, and we don't say he's
Because-
well, obviously.
because
Wait.
that's
Do you see
Tyler
black
Perry.
women bullying men in Tyler Perry movies?
Yeah, 100%. Yes.
Bullying
most of the
men?
time, most of the time, the
I've
women
only
are
seen
the
a
victims.
couple.
The women are the victims, but there are other cultures. In I think it was Why Did I Get Married? Remember, Michael Jai White was in there, and his
Yeah.
wife was very bullish towards him. His new girlfriend, and where the baby's mom, they were, you know, she was very bullish towards him. Yes, yeah, you see that
That
all the
was
time.
wait. I don't remember. I've seen it. I remember Michael Jai White. I
So
remember.
if Andrew Schultz saw
her
that movie.
being-
Why would he not think? Yeah, they be bullying that woman. I mean,
Well,
you know,
because
that's
there
what
was
they
like
think.
13 other black women in that movie who didn't do that.
And again,
There's a stereotype
That,
that all
that
black.
one black woman wouldn't make a stereotype unless that's what you want the stereotype to be.
and what
That-
you're also not seeing or taking notice of, that's Tyler Perry's interpretation of black men, black women relationships. That is his own individual interpretation of the relationship.
So it's not right.
He does not speak.
but it's
He
the
does
same
not. He
thought.
does not speak. He speaks for himself in that interpretation. He does not speak for all black people as a whole. In that
Arguably, though, because of his
Those
platform,
situations
I
exist.
say that he does have more pull.
Oh, he has a bigger platform.
Oh, of course.
I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
that
say- I'm not-
platform is
He
a
has a
lot.
huge fucking platform. I'm not going to deny that, but it is still he is still the shepherd of that interpretation of black relationships. It's not. They don't all work out that way. The way you see it, it doesn't work out the exact same way every time for all black people. It just doesn't. They might be realistic in some cases, and it might be unrealistic in others.
Yeah. But yo, always remember the reason there are so many stereotypes about black people is really like the reason why is because America had created a racist slave system, abused black people, and even after slavery ended, continued to abuse black people, and even after Jim Crow ended, continued to abuse black people, and did it through media, newspaper, entertainment. Their first big movie, remember, was Birth of a Nation. That shit was a racist KKK propaganda movie. Like, remember, that's why black people have all the stereotypes that are so negative, because they were made by a racist upper class.
and have always been the lowest class citizen for the most part. You know, like, is there anyone lower than a dark-skinned, homeless black guy? You know what I mean? You know, you see a homeless, dark-skinned black guy, that's probably one of the lowest tiers that you can ever fall to, right? Like, and I think black people have occupied that. And you stopped at Jim Crow, Juice. I think it continued all the way through segregation.
Yeah, I said past Jim Crow.
Through the welfare state. It's a continued legacy. You know what I mean?
I don't think
with just
okay.
You know,
I think the welfare state is beneficial.
Now there are statistically more white people.
That's a whole other conversation
than black people, but black people are stereotypically the ones most on welfare, right?
Yes, so they're the ones who they attack for being on welfare. They don't attack white people. We have been the lowest class citizens. We are some of the most dependent group of people on it. You know what I mean? So it's there. It's a legacy. It's there. And these black women, maybe the experiences of these two guys on Andrew Schultz's show is that they've dealt with black women who have gone through that, and you know, they would prefer someone of a different race. Now, I thought that's the part that you took offense to, but apparently it's Andrew Schultz, his racism. No, yeah. My whole thing is Andrew Schultz, really. Like, I know a lot of the conversation online is about the guys laughing, and I feel like here
it was funny.
They shouldn't have laughed that hard. Maybe.
Hey, come on, you can't have levels.
Man, to I don't know. Okay, well, maybe they shouldn't have laughed. Like, I don't know. I felt like when I heard that joke for the first time, I was like, no, I didn't laugh. I was like, whoa. I'm sorry. I was like, whoa. Like,
I know. You know what I laughed at?
I immediately started reflecting. I immediately started reflecting to see if I recall any black women I know behaving like that. And I'm just like, I don't. I went to HBCU, like a lot of black women friends. Like, I just don't ever recall like a man needing to grow a beard to defend himself against being slapped by his black girlfriend. Like, that's such a weird thing to say.
It was just a joke. It could have been true for white people. He was just talking about, you know, it was a little racist trope. Come on. On a scale of 1 to 10. For the racism scale, what level would you give that comment to Andrew Schultz?
Racist.
Yeah, this is like racist. Okay, it's like 50-50. It's like racist or not racist.
1 to 5? Racist.
1 to 5.
Yeah. That shit was racist.
That's a 5?
Racist.
It is racist. Yeah, I'm working on this one. Like, it's a 50-50, right?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you racist or you not racist. I fell into the racist joke category. Like, that was a racist joke.
Yes,
you can make jokes about race.
I agree with that.
Don't make it race. What was that? Bill Burr had a. I can't even say it. Right? He was talking about how like white guys get in trouble with being racist because they say this. They're talking about an Asian. Say this Asian motherfucker.
Yeah. Like the way you say something,
this motherfucking Asian. Black people put the motherfucker in front.
You got to put it before that one.
This motherfucking Asian.
These fucking Asian guys.
Asian motherfucker. You gotta put the motherfucker in the right place.
Yeah. He said black people put motherfucker in the right spot. Yeah.
Right.
He said, man, this motherfucking Asian.
That's a change the whole thing. You can make a joke about race. That's fine. But don't make a racist joke.
Was it in the same set? Was it in the same set that he was talking about some of the differences between white people and black people, about how white people miss like the lotioning themselves summit, the moisturizer?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, white people don't know what ass,
black people, and then black people miss the registering their weapons summit. And I'm like,
oh, yo.
I would love to say I got live.
Bill Burr can fucking toe the line. He knows how to make the joke. He understands the joke, right?
Like there wasn't like to me when he said all of those things, I'm like, I did not feel any hatred coming my way, you know. But like,
I think Andrew Schultz is a comedian as well, but I doubt anybody would fill up his arena. Yeah. Nobody ain't gonna fill him up. If it was him versus Bill Burr, who are you gonna go? Obviously, I'm going to see Bill Burr. So
Bill Burr is more established.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So why can Bill Burr get away with shit that Andrew Schultz can't?
Dude, we just said it. Like, he didn't make a racist joke. You can make jokes about race, but don't make a racist joke.
They kind of say okay. So the tone in which Andrew Schultz said it wasn't funny enough.
Not
Because
not
if he
just
had said
He
it
could have
funny,
whispered
then
it, and it
would've
still
been
would have been racist.
right, not just tone intention.
Yeah, it's tension, man. It's like you got to understand, man.
And Bill Burr is funny. I give you a
He's
pass.
funny as
Bill
fuck.
Burr is funny as shit. Yeah.
He's funny as fuck.
You're
Like,
funny.
He's probably one of the top comedians, bro. Like, you know, for me, I'll put Chappelle up there. Outside of it was the last one, Equanimity. So outside of that one, you know.
I didn't watch that. You know. Here, let me run back some comments from Dr. K. Just to recap some of the points that we might have missed. Fuhad, who's one of the black guys in Nigerian, and James is Irish. No black audience. Okay. So there's this one part that I wanted to talk about. Schultz try to throw these guys under the bus in their apology. So they made an apology video, and they were talking. That's when I mentioned the fight response. They were just trying to move past the topic, yada yada yada. And so Schultz says that they had their editor or whatever, their agent, whatever, sent in their conversation. There were parts that were clipped out, right? Just I guess just not being good for consumption for full audience, but they left that part in. Right, that we were talking about, and because for whatever reason, their team, the editors, didn't think it was a problem that he had made a racist joke. So yeah, that was part of it. So she's like kind of throwing them under the bus and being like, well, they didn't think it was racist at the time, but now they're apologizing. And
It's the
shit.
Will Smith effect. You know, he laughed. He didn't think it was racist. You know. So Andrew Schultz.
I guess they got to smack the shit out this thing.
He's trying to take heat off himself. That's what that is. You know.
The thing is, the funny part about that is and I wish I'd added this clip, but like when he was making that statement, he said, well, they didn't take out that part, so or something like that. And one of the people on the panel with him, when he was making that comment, said the part where you made a racist joke. And I'm like, yeah, they probably should have taken out the part where you made that racist joke, Andrew. Like, probably would have been a good thing to do.
I also think like there's not a lot of people, especially like, with the two guys, and like, they're probably trying to, develop their platform by going on other people's platforms or whatever. There's not a lot of people that would try to like sabotage that or blow it up right on the spot.
Or like even like
going back at him,
Yeah, they weren't going to debate him. I feel like
right. They I'm not going to say they weren't in a position to, but they were just definitely not so inclined to do that because, like you said, tried to laugh it off, move past the joke. That's just what a lot of people do. Human nature. They don't. They shy away from conflict, and especially in that regard, I'm not excusing it whatsoever. It's just I think that's what happened. Why, and then it's kind of like turned into this bigger thing.
If y'all were in that situation and he said something that you thought was racist, would you be like say you on like Joe Rogan's show and Joe Rogan says some shit, right? That's just like, I think that's racist. Are you gonna be like, hey Joe, that's just fucking racist?
See, though, when you say that, well, you automatically think about that compilation of him saying nigger or whatever it was. You know what I mean? That's
now that you mention it, yeah.
Yeah, but still, I think Joe Rogan is a way better interviewer than Andrew Schultz. I think like with Joe Rogan's level of audience, he has to be a little more. He knows better than to say anything too outlandish. Like, I don't think Joe Rogan would have made the same.
Joe Rogan,
or at the very least, he probably would have said it, and then his team would have edited it out.
Joe Rogan,
right? Yeah, he's got a team behind him. Joe Rogan, his audience is, millions of views. Like, you don't get there without knowing
Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan says crazy shit all the time.
True.
He says, but nothing.
He says dumb shit constantly. He says some anti-Semitic shit pretty recently.
I was on I'm on blackenterprise.com and I read Andrew Schultz's what he said on the show, and it looks a lot worse when you read it. Because I just read it and I got a little mad. Okay, but when I heard it in the joke in the moment of the video, I was like, it's just a little joke, you know. But I'm
It
not,
was just a-
maybe I'm
it's just
not
a
maybe
quote.
I'm not as sensitive racially as others are, which is their right, right? Like there are some.
Hey, can
like,
you read
even
the
with
quote, D?
You want me
Can
to
you
read it?
Yeah, just read it how it's. Just,
All right, hold on.
just
They
read it.
shave. All right, hold on. They shave their hair because they start losing it because they're so stressed about being around this black girl complaining about shit all the fucking time. Schultz remarked, "That's why they got to shave their hair." Duncan, nah, bro. White guys with black girlfriends. Okay, yeah. So that's the other guy. But okay, it was a little funny, you know.
I didn't have to
Yeah,
jump.
it just pissed me off in print versus the video a little bit. That's all.
I guess that's a good way to determine someone's racist. It's like
When I
is
see
that
it,
shit
when I see it in
racist
print,
on paper?
it got a little bit more, you know.
The racist level rose like 25% on paper and shit in black and white. It's like fuck, this is
Okay, so
this y'all
I see another.
in Times New Roman is racist as shit.
Hey, so I see another comment by Dr. K just popped up. The problem
Yo,
is that black women.
Fuck. Like, damn.
Holy Bria,
75%.
holy shit.
You want to
Yo,
check the
Comic
comments?
Sans, ultimate disrespect.
Sorry. No, you got it. My bad. Go ahead. Hold on, what you gonna read it?
Oh no, I just saw a comment. You want to check the comments? Dr. K was a really good point.
The real problem is that black women are super disappointed in these two. It's hard to find a safe podcast /
Oh, okay, here you go.
So yeah, that could be the issue. Yeah,
and they thought that they found one, so black women are really hurt.
Yeah.
That's valid.
They should have known better to understand their audience. Which maybe Andrew Schultz, because he has said borderline things like this before. Maybe his audience is accepting of what he is saying. You know what I mean? Like, so he thought he was okay. You know, and some people got offended to it. I'm not a regular Andrew Schultz listener, so I didn't take it as offensive as, you know. Yeah, I guess. But it was funny in the moment when he said that means white, and they started chuckling. I chuckled a little bit, you know.
A little racist. A little racist.
A little stereotypy. A little stereotypy. That's all. No.
Yeah.
Cool, all right. Though. Hey, and Frank said, what'd you say? Something about you know, it was funny. It was a Will Smith joke I had thought of like a few seconds ago. I can't remember, but it was funny. He slapped the shit out of Chris Rock, man. I still can't believe it, man. You know.
That he did.
I wish I would have been there on Will's shoulder at that time, man. I would have been like, Will, calm down, man. Come on, man. Don't do it.
That had nothing to do with like racism. I understand.
You're gonna publicly shame yourself.
It had nothing to do with racism. I think that had a lot more to do with the relationship dynamic.
I'd have been like, Will, man, you one of the most.
See, Andrew Schultz would say some racist shit like Jada was gonna smack the shit out of Will Smith because she's a black woman.
Yeah.
But that's
and
what
I'm like, that's fucking
everybody
racist.
was making that joke back then. Jada made him do it, all this shit.
But not because he was a black woman. Andrew Schultz because she's a black, because Andrew Schultz would have said because she's a black woman, she would behave in that way. And that's the racist part of it.
He smacked the shit. Okay, we did a podcast like maybe what a week after that or something. That shit was crazy. Damn. All right. Well,
so there was a part just to mention it that I don't want to drag it out, but apparently these guys had some other comments on another show talking about they didn't see attractive women in Atlanta, and that also like this is during the same tour, and so that shit definitely like riled up like his audience. They were just like,
this was before this one.
I think this was before.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I think it was before. And so like, you know, these guys they kind of put a target on their own backs, you know what I'm saying? Or on their own faces, essentially. Just like know your goddamn audience, man.